In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how I would make my first 10K a month if I had to do it all again from scratch. Just finding that skill or passion. Make sure that you already have that groundwork. They try and monetize something that they have no idea what it is. Okay, this is what I can do well. This is what I can sell comfortably really well. How much is your service worth? Not only can we do 10x in sales, but can we do 10x in terms of outreach? Where a lot of people go wrong is that they get complacent and they only aim for that 10K. Okay, so the first thing that we want to talk about is how are we actually going to get to your 10K month? Because if you're working a 9-to-5 normal job at the moment, that is only so capped in terms of how much you can actually earn. So we need to talk about monetizing a skill or a passion. So a lot of people think when you hear a skill or passion that they need to come up with like this new idea that no one's ever done before. However, chances are you can become a millionaire from just doing something so incredibly basic. And most millionaires are made millionaires because they're doing the most simple tasks that you wouldn't even think of. Because they've done the things that I'm about to mention, they're able to monetize that and grow it to the point where they're able to not just earn 10K a month, but they're able to scale it past that, okay? So this exact framework is what I've done to grow my business, and I'm gonna be sharing it with you so you can do the same. So the first thing is just finding that skill or passion. It can be something simple. Even if you're not necessarily passionate about it, you need to think, okay, is it this am I passionate about, let's just say, mowing lawn itself, or am I passionate about the business? Because you can be passionate about the business itself, not necessarily the lawn mowing itself. I've done other little businesses in the past. I used to do lashes, for example, and that thing, lashes itself, when I used to be a lash tech, I never really used to enjoy doing lashes. It was honestly so boring and so tedious, and I just didn't enjoy it, but I loved the business side of it. So it's like you can be passionate about business and earning more and scaling it. You don't necessarily need to be passionate about like the skill itself. For me and myself, I have scaled my personal training business, which I'm so incredibly passionate about, which I'm so thankful I found that at a really young age. So I was able to scale at a young age. But if you don't have that thing that you're necessarily passionate about it or anything like that, think about those small tasks that you could do for someone else and charge them a fee for it. So that's number one, is find that skill or passion that you can actually monetize in the first place. That's not just a job, because there's only so much that you could earn in per year, but with a business, it's unlimited. That being said though, guys, don't choose something that you haven't already put the groundwork in for. You want to choose something that you already know and that you can comfortably do and sell straight off the bat. Where a lot of people can go wrong is that they try and monetize something that they have no idea what it is. So if you, for example, go and try and be a personal trainer or an online coach, but you don't even work out, it's not going to make sense. The last thing that you want to do is go try and spend a whole bunch of time trying to learn that skill in the first place, and that's taking away time that you could be earning that money, because ultimately your business isn't going to be able to grow if you're not providing a good service to begin with. So choose something that you already know and are already skilled in, and that you can do really comfortably and well for that matter, so you can continue growing that business sooner, rather than having to spend a whole lot of unnecessary time trying to go study and learn the skill to begin with. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is the 10x rule. And I know a few very successful people who have chatted on this. Of course, Grant Cardone's known for his 10x. Steve Harvey talks about this as well. But what we want to do, once we've identified what that skill is and you've decided, okay, this is what I can do well, this is what I can sell comfortably really well, then from there we need to identify how much is your service worth. And then from there, what we also want to think about is pricing structure, okay? If you're offering a service that is really cheap, for example, then you need to do it a lot more than if it was a really like valuable service where you can charge something that's a higher amount. Because if you're charging a higher amount, you don't need that many clients. Whereas if you're doing something that is really low cost, then you're gonna want to make sure that you're in a position where you do have a lot of people to sell to. So if you're in a position where you do have a big audience, great, you can do that. You have that audience. However, I do recommend having something that is priced higher service, so you don't need to talk to as many people. So first and foremost, figure out how much is my service worth and how many clients or how much do I need to sell to get you to that 10K a month. So if it's 10K a month and you're charging 5K for your service for a month, then guess what? You only need 2 clients. But if you're only charging say $1,000, then you need 10 clients, and if you're charging, say, $500, then you need 20 clients. So you can just see how much more work that needs to go into each client. So just have a think about your pricing structure if you're offering different tiers, but ultimately just work out so you know what kind of number that you're wanting to work towards. Otherwise, if you're just kind of going in blindsided and just hoping that you get a client and you're not working for necessarily exact figures, then you're not going to be very motivated to get there. So how much is your service worth? How much do you need to sell of it to get to your 10K a month? And then from there, then can you do 10x of everything? Okay, so not only can we do 10x in sales, but can we do 10x in terms of outreach, and can we do 10x of posting on social media? So this whole like 10x concept is not only doing 10x in terms of like the sales and revenue that you're doing, but also the amount of work that you're putting into. Once you raise and increase your standard of how much that you want to earn, then guess what needs to also be increased is the amount of outreach and the amount of extra work that you need to do to be able to acquire those leads in the first place. So guys, that is the second thing that I would say when it comes to working out how much that you need to get to that 10K a month. Okay, so let's assume that these things are going really well for you. You're ticking the boxes, you're doing the things, you're bringing in income, which is fantastic. Now we're kind of at that point where money is good, but where a lot of people go wrong is that they get complacent and they only aim for that 10K. So once again, we want to 10x that, okay? So from this point, your time is probably getting a little bit poorer. You're working a lot in the business and not necessarily out of the business. So what we want to do is we want to think, okay, what tasks can we delegate that aren't as important? That doesn't matter if I do them. So maybe we want to start outsourcing our marketing, or maybe we want to bring on a new staff member on board and they can also do that skill for us and we can teach them how to do that. So we don't just want to be aiming for that 10K a month. Once again, we don't want to be aiming small, we want to be aiming big and above that. Because if you're just aiming that and you fall short, then okay, you're going to be falling short, right? But if you aim for above that and you fall short of that, you're still going to be earning well above your 10K. And if you want to be feeling comfortable in business and you don't want your income to be having massive dips with that and you constantly stressing and feeling uneasy, you want to be aiming for higher. So have a look at the things that you're doing from a day-to-day basis. Ask yourself, what tasks can I delegate? Where can I outsource? So I'm not spending as much time in the business, but rather on the business so we can focus on growing. Because otherwise you go back to your original problem of your time being capped. And once again, you still can only earn so much, especially if you're a service provider and it's just yourself. If you really want to grow a big business, there needs to be more than just yourself. Okay guys, that's all for today's video. I will definitely be doing a part 2 to this video as well, so make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.